Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Let's go. It's Jimmy time to jam out with a topic, and I'm doing like kind of a more commentary style video because I thought it would be really fun and I love watching these, so I wanted to put some of my opinions out there. Today we're covering a topic that has been talked to death in the art community. Everyone and their mom has talked about this, but we're talking about art fixers. Woo! Well, we all know like the notorious art fixers like ZFix's art and their like awful reign, but smaller art fixers also are out there preying on artists across all social media platforms. Often when art YouTubers cover these topics, they take an outside perspective, but they do give great commentary. I just don't think I've ever seen anyone cover art fixing that was a target of a fixer. Well, not me. Way back in November of 2022, an art Instagram by the handle Marvel Fan Fixes Drawing, or Adriano, stole and edited my art without my consent. Now I want to preface this by saying they edited some of my works that even at the time weren't my best, and now, like a year and a half later, I've improved significantly. But my improvement did not come from having my art fixed, but rather my own practice and experimentation through art classes and talking to other artists I had the amazing chance of being able to meet. So let's take a look at the original and fixed art side by side here. The one on the left is my original drawing, and the one on the right is the fixed art. Both are directly screenshotted off of Instagram. As you can see, the main change across the three fixes is Adriana stylizing the characters' faces to match a more reminiscent of anime styles, and making the characters significantly skinnier. With all three characters, they aren't meant to be skinny. Arthur Morgan and Bucky Barnes are more muscular, middle-aged men. Like, they're not supposed to be little anime twinks. And the Peter Parker drawing, well, it could technically be skinnier. The baggy shirt, because he's hanging upside down in the drawing, is meant to, it makes him look a bit larger. That's just how baggy shirts work. Oh my god. Adriana's fixes also hinder the overall flow of the pieces, especially with the Arthur drawing, which, all the movement in the original art goes completely static. These fixes did nothing to improve the art and actively made them worse conceptually. This brings me to what I believe are the two main issues with art fixing: purpose and consent. Let's start with the purpose of fixing art. Typically, art fixers on Twitter change characters' races, body types, clothing style, and genders to be seen as more acceptable by whatever standards the fixer has. Most people familiar with this topic should be familiar with ZFix's art and more recently RoseFix's art. Now, I have no real issue with changing aspects of characters as long as they make their own art just for fun and are not trying to criticize other artists' design choices. Surprisingly, Adriano did the opposite of this by trying to make the characters more conventionally attractive. The purpose of their fixes were to improve my anatomy and style, as they claim, but instead of just leaving a comment or sending a DM, they went out of their way to steal my art and draw over it without actually explaining their process and giving helpful advice on how to improve. Let me say it loud and clear for everyone to hear: posting art publicly is not giving consent for unsolicited criticism. This is something that these fixers and many other scourges of the art community don't realize before berating and hurting artists, and this really needs to stop, especially beginner artists. The amount of TikTok comment sections I have gone to where it says, "Well, it sure is something," or thousands of other unhelpful, rude comments when a beginner artist is just trying to get their work out there and have fun. And that brings us to the second issue: consent. For someone to fix art, they need to see other person's work and steal it off of their profile before editing it. When an artist puts their art out on the internet, it still belongs to them. We have intellectual property laws for a reason, and I'm not incredibly educated on these, but there are sources where you can go look for yourself and see where your art would fall on intellectual property laws. So I would recommend going out, seeing what you can do, how you can protect your art. As long as the artist directly consents to their art being fixed, which is actually quite common. There are plenty of YouTubers who say hey, send in your art and I'll fix it. Some better than others, but oftentimes artists will be hey, I'll draw over your art, I'll show you where you made some mistakes and you can help improve. And that process of showing an artist how you took the steps to get from their original art to the then improved art is so helpful. Channels like Ethan Becker do this all the time, where he breaks people's art down into shapes and shows them how this like shape language and anatomy really can boost their art. And I have no problem with that. I think that is a great resource. But when an artist takes the art off of someone's profile, edits it, and reposts it saying, hey, I fixed it, the original artist has no idea of like what the fixer even did to quote unquote improve their art. So it's not helpful in any way. It just serves to berate the original artist. To wrap up, I just want to emphasize the importance of asking permission before using anyone's art for any public purpose. And if you do have valid criticisms of an artist's work, there are more productive ways to give them advice without humiliating them on a public platform. So stay safe out there, artists. It's a rough world, but keep creating, and thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye!